Hey, how you doing? Justin here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this guitar. A lot of you guys seem to ask me about the guitars that I play. I'm not exactly sure what it is that you want to know about my guitar collection, so I figured I'd do one, and you can let me know in the comment section exactly what it is that you'd like to know. I'm going to start with what I think you'd like to know about this guitar, and then we can go from there. Hey, so this is red, obviously, Stratocaster, Fender Stratocaster. It's a Strat Plus Deluxe is the exact model. It was built in 1989 and I bought it brand new in 1990 from McCann's Music Centre in Elizabeth Street, Hobart, Tasmania, which is where I was from. I bought the Strat mainly because my friend Simon Patterson, who's a legendary Australian guitar player, met him a few times. He came to see a gig, a rock covers gig that I was doing at the time, and I think it was Maloney's Hotel in the town centre. If any of you Tasmanians are watching, I think I was playing the upstairs bar there. And after the gig, he said that he really liked my guitar playing, but my tone really sucked, and that I should go and buy a Stratocaster. And I had so much respect for Simon that the following Monday I went straight to McCann's and bought this guitar. I think I bought it on credit even. I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time, but I loved it. And I think I was teaching upstairs, so if my memory serves me correctly, they let me have it even though I hadn't paid for it yet, which was very nice. I always appreciate the Greg and Rob and the guys at McCann's in those days. I'm not even sure who's working there now. I think there's a few familiar faces last time I was there. Anyway, rambling a little bit. Interesting thing about this guitar is almost nothing is original anymore. So it started life as it used to have when these guitars came with lace sensor pickups, which I was never a big fan of. I must admit, I swapped them out pretty quickly. I think I had a Seymour Duncan Cool Stack, which was like a stacked humbucker in it for a long time. I think I kept the middle lace sensor, and I can't remember what was in the front, but I've actually got the whole. Each time I've replaced the pickups and stuff, I've just pulled the whole pick guard out and done it that way. So it's had a few different pick guards as well. I'll talk a bit more about the electronics that are in it now, but I may as well start up this end. I don't need the tuner. The tuners of replacements, the original Fender locking ones never seemed to lock properly. They were always a bit fiddly, and they had a pin in the back that kept falling out as well. I think the newer ones are much improved, but these are the Spurzl. I can't remember the model name of them, but they're fantastic tuners. I really like that. I would have them on all my guitars. If I have to swap tuners, I would get these same ones put on every time. It's got a different string tree as well to the original one. I can't remember why I changed it, but I think I changed the string tree, but I can't remember even what it was from. The serial number on this guitar, if anyone's interested, although I'm never going to sell it, so it's never going to come up, but it's E915622. The nut has changed. It's got a buzz, faint, and tuning system nut, which the idea of the buzz, faint, and tuning system is that it makes particularly open chords a little bit more in tune. And I do notice it with this guitar. If I'm playing a lot of open chordy stuff that on electric guitar, that it seems to make a difference. It basically brings the nut a little bit further forward toward the first fret, and then so it's a bit more like having a 0 fret kind of thing. It is good, but it comes with a couple of drawbacks. One is that when you tune the guitar, you have to tune it differently. You basically tune all the E notes. So you tune like the thinnest E, and then the 5th fret on the 2nd string, 9th fret on the 3rd string, 14th fret, 7th fret, and usually I use the harmonic at the 5th fret on the thicker string. But you need to tune using those, which can be a little bit fiddly, holding the note down and then having to reach over to tune rather than just playing the regular open strings and using the tuner. So it's not without its drawbacks, but and this is the only guitar I've got it on, but it does really work well for getting the open chords nicely in tune. The frets have been changed several times. This was my main practice guitar, so when I was doing like 8-10 hours a day and practicing like a maniac, this was my main instrument. So yeah, the frets have been changed. I think that it's currently got stainless steel jumbos on it. I can't remember which particular brand frets they are. This guitar was set up by Charlie Chandler at Charlie Chandler's Guitar Experience. Fantastic luthier if you live in London or anywhere around England and you want the guy who's the guy for guitar setups. He's your man. Really, really great. And he's also got a machine there called a Plek machine, which is looks kind of like a phone box that you put the guitar in, and it's got a computer that knows exactly. You scan it with the strings on, and then it tells how much each fret should be sanded down exactly, so you can have as lower action as you can, but without any buzzing. Because I really, really don't like fret buzz. It's like I'd much rather have a higher action than have fret buzz. A lot of my friends don't like playing my guitars because it's definitely higher than than it can be. It could be a lot lower, put it that way. And some of my friends that come to play my guitars are like, "Oh my God, how do you play this? It's like playing a cheese grater, I think so, or a cheese cutter." But yeah, Charlie's the man for setups in London, and having a good setup with a Plek machine makes a really big difference. For me, Charlie always gets things like the edges of the frets feel really nice. They're not kind of cutty or anything like that. The rest of the neck is standard, although, having tuners and frets out and the nut out and the frets, so it's only the wood and the dots that are left, I guess. So the body of the guitar is pretty standard. There's a massive, you probably won't see it, but there's a massive dent in here where I think when I was about 18 or 19 years old, I had a temper tantrum at not being able to play something. I don't really remember what it was, but in that period, I was quite into trying to play like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and stuff. And I just remember was at my parents' house, and I got really upset about not being able to play something, and I just picked the guitar and went threw it on the floor. I'm like, oh, thinking back now, I mean, that's stupid, but happened, and it's a healthy reminder that to keep control of my temper. On the back of the guitar, I've got a couple of anti fossil fuel stickers. I think I've probably put these on when I was about 20. I still think fossil fuels are pretty evil and probably a guiding force of evil on the planet, but that's, silly politics, so it's just hell instead of shell and S-holes, or esh-holes. The springs in the back are locked normally, so there's 3 springs. I angle the 2 outside 2, which gives them a little bit more tension, and I've screwed the plate in as far as I can. So I don't use the tremolo on this in it. I can. In fact, I can't. I can't even pull it back. I've got a feeling these black ones were high tension ones I bought from somewhere, but I can't remember. There's even a bit of chewing gum in there from about 100 million years ago that I used to use to keep the little cable, the earthing cable that fits onto that back plate. I used to keep that in there, but it's no longer holding the cable, but it's still there. It must be, at least 20 years old, that piece of chewing gum. Bit gross, but anyway. Plate's fairly standard, pretty worn. It's got a nice little bit of natural relicking there. The pegs are different at the moment. I've got the Shala strap lock system on there, although I might be changing to the Dario one soon. I'm still testing that one out to see if I can be bothered changing all of them on all my guitars. The electrics at the moment are a set of Kinman Woodstock. Kinman make these kind of noiseless or reduced noise single coil pickups, which I really like. These particular models I think were called the Woodstocks. Not 100% certain, but I'm fairly sure that's what it was. It's a regular 5-way selector switch, the standard Stratocaster thing, rear pickup, those 2, middle, those 2 in the front. However, the electrics are a little different. In the tone controls, control the front and back pickups. Now, it's been that way on this guitar. In fact, most of my Strats have got that wiring done now. And it's been that way for so long. I even made a mistake talking about a different Strat, one of those, the cheap Strat version of this guitar, that I thought that was wrong. But I was soon corrected. The internet's good at rebuting me when I get something wrong. But the reason is because this guitar and most of my Strats have I want this tone control to be affecting that pickup, because it's quite often just a little bit too bright. And so it's usually on 10, but it's not uncommon for me to back it off to an 8 or something like that. Never really right down, but just a little bit, just to take some of that. Can get a little bit aggressively bitey there sometimes. So so the tone controls control the outside 2 and the middle pickup, which I don't use very often except as a split. So I can't remember ever using a song, but doing a session with it using just the middle pickup. But I do quite often use the split, the bridge pickup and the middle pickup together. The bridge is also not standard either. I can't remember what brand the bridge thing was. I remember I swapped it, but I use these Teflon coated saddle bits, which I've had those same ones on there for a long time, almost since new. So one of the first things I did was swapped over those because I'd noticed on other guitars I'd had they're really helpful for having less string breaks. So I can't remember the brand. I'll stick the link to the brand over on my website. So the idea is over on the website I'll have all of the information about this guitar, the spec and all of that sort of stuff, and links to the relevant manufacturers that have made the bits. Output jack, as I remember, is about the same, and I can't think of anything else technical about this guitar to tell you about it, really. It's one of those ones where I know the guitar really well, like all of the scratches on the back of the neck. I really know it. It feels really homely for me because I've had it for so long and played it so often. It's been all around the world with me, and it was the guitar that I bought when I moved from Tasmania to London. I only had one guitar. I didn't have an amplifier. I literally came with a suitcase and a guitar, and that was it when I moved. And this was the guitar that came with me. So it was my main instrument while I was studying at the Guitar Institute as well. It's been a good friend over the years. This one, it's very comforting. It's one. There's a few guitars that I've got that there's absolutely no chance that I will ever sell, no matter how desperate things got. And this is one of them. In fact, and this would be the first one that I'd grab if there was a fire in the house and I had to run in and grab one guitar. It would be this one, even though it's not the most valuable in terms of bucks. It's definitely the most valuable to me in terms of sentimental value. So I can't think of what else to let you know about it. So maybe just let me know in the comments what you'd like to know about my other guitars. The plan is that I'll go through all of my collection eventually, but I don't want to do like a whole bunch like this and then have you guys go, oh, what I'd really like to know is blah blah blah. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this video and what else you'd like to see. I will be doing gear and pedals and all of that with my collection as well at some point in the near future, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you for plenty more very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.